I'm back. And I got nuevas gafas. Yes, honey. Yes. Okay. Welcome back to Kyndra's Corner, another great episode of Kyndra's Corner. I think this is episode 22, 22, episode 22. And so, for the ones who don't know about what my podcast is about, it is me asking random polling questions. Y'all come into my world of the things that I think about, the things that I say, some of the craziest, wildest moments, like flashback stuff. So I make sure to bring a crew with me, even if it's just one person, right? Just one person that I bring with me and everything. Just to because I don't know, I kind of feel awkward doing this by myself, and I make sure I got a heavy hitter type of team, right? And before I go ahead and bring this team on, it's a couple things I do want to say. Fellas, I'm gonna let y'all know something, man. The smallest things really do turn me off. If y'all's boxers are too loose, I'm good on you. Okay, I just want to say that the first thing. And also, you know what? I really do feel bad for a lot of you cats whose cars really are in the shop. Cause ain't nobody gonna believe that. All right. I just want to let y'all know we ain't believing it. Oh, my car in the shop. Yeah. Okay. It's yeah for the last 3 years. So anyway, without further ado, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and bring somebody to the stage who's not been in here for a while. He was out there, running a couple of companies, having to do backup dancing for people like Justin Timberlake and Justin Bieber. Okay. And now he's back and he's coming, back on his BS. We got Kivity Lance Papillon to the stage. How you doing, brother? Can you hear me? Are you there?
I just want to say that the signal is, yeah, but you're going in and out. But yeah, I think I can hear you now. I just
Okay,
want to
perfect.
tell everyone on the show, one, happy Simp Day to everybody. I hope everybody is enjoying their beautiful romantic Valentine's Simp Day, whatever the fuck you call it. But forgive my language. Also, everyone, I just want to say that my Nissan Sentra is in the shop currently right now. And thanks to the host that helped me bring my car in the
Come on.
shop.
Come on. That's
So
what I do.
I guess,
That's what I do.
yeah. So thank you for putting my car in the shop, Kyndra Crump. You're such an amazing woman.
I try to,
But in other
man.
words, I'm just messing with y'all. I'm just trying to be funny, but I can't. But yeah. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Happy whatever the hell y'all call it, Cupid Day, Love Day,
Hmm.
fuck day. I don't fucking know what y'all doing these days. I don't know, but yes. Thank you so much for the shout out, and thank you for everything you just said.
And you know what? Before we bring our next person, brother, to the stage, man. I don't know if y'all have seen it on social media, but they got this thing called Galentine's. Like, and I'm
What?
trying to think of like what the heck is gal? Because basically, for the ones who don't know what Galentine's, basically a group of women get together and they have their own Valentine's Day, type of thing. And to me, I really just think it's just women who make up anything just to be carpet munchers. Okay, they want to go
What?
lick on some nana. Because I'm like, what the heck are y'all doing? And with that being said, okay, let me go ahead and bring my
Wow.
next special guest to because I'm like, what the heck is Galentine's? Let me bring my next guest to the stage, man. We got the pimp in the building. How you doing,
Hey
brother?
y'all, I'm good, baby. How y'all doing today? What's up, my guy?
Looking great as ever. Looking great
Come
as
on
ever,
now,
man.
come on now, slide devil,
No.
huh? Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope everybody got their thing with them and enjoying the day. But Valentine's Day should be every day. You know what I mean? You love
Come
somebody, show
on.
them every
Come
single day,
on.
not just
Come
one day.
on.
One day in a year to show somebody you love them. That ain't what's up at all. Y'all show your people you love them every single day. You hear
Come
me?
on. Come on.
All
Come on.
right.
And you know what to say that in Spanish? It's Feliz Dia de San Valentin. Feliz Dia
What
de
she
San
says.
Valentin.
Yeah,
So
just like
yeah.
the French,
What
it's
she
similar to
said.
Spanish. Is Au jour de Saint Valentin.
There it is. Oh, okay. All right. Look at you. Look at you. But no, it should
Smoking the good
honestly,
shit.
Pimp, you're right. It should be every day, but unfortunately, people They just, you know what? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all before we go to these questions, man. I'm gonna keep it all the way because it kind of does segue into our questions about relationships anyway. So I remember the reason I don't really care. I think out of all I don't really celebrate holidays anymore. Really like that anyway because I feel like like Christmas, you can do Christmas anytime. Thanksgiving, anytime. Mother's Day, Father's Day, it should be any time of the year. You don't have to just wait. It could be all throughout the year. So I remember I was in middle school. I was in
Absolutely.
seventh grade. This guy named Ozzy was his name, but his first name was Raymond. And so I remember Ray, actually we were dating for 3 days and he broke up with me the day before Valentine's Day, right? The day before Valentine's Day. And I think since then I literally have hated Valentine's Day. And on top of that, it
Damn.
really became like a competition as I got older. Like who's gonna get the biggest bear? Like your bear is as big as your house. What do you need all that? What are you gonna do with the bear from previous year, right? So for me, it's or even like let's say, I hope I'm not sounding like I'm hating. But like I said, the book in the hotel, like, man, I kind of feel bad for the custodial people having to sit there and clean up all that mess up. Like they gotta,
Oh,
it's
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I like how you mentioned that because back in my Valentine's Day of 2021, I believe me and this girl did do that, and we made an entire mess. But what
oh
we did, what we
shoot.
did, we hid like $20 underneath like the sheets or whatever, and we put it in the envelope because we knew that the custodians, like there are Mexicans that are underpaid and stuff like that that's trying to stay in the country. We said, listen, this is for the housekeeping department. This is for you to appreciate all of your hard work. We put the envelope underneath there. We also put one underneath the trash on top of the dresser. So I like how you put that. I didn't know other people thought like that.
No, I mean, yeah, first off, hold up. I'm trying to what was y'all into? Did you have a whole like what did you have something what did you have a squirt machine? What the heck was going on that day?
That's a long story. Long story.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about it off camera. Anyway, so I say all that to say, I think, like I say, for me, and wait, Lance, let me ask you, what happened between you and old girl? Like y'all done did all that, why would it end?
Oh yeah, I've told you how it ended in the divorce recordings many times. Well, okay, but the thing is, I talk about so many women. I know you get them mixed up.
Hmm.
You know what? That's another long story, so I definitely will tell you about that in the divorce recordings very soon.
Okay, all
As a matter
right.
of fact, right after I finish this, I'm gonna make a voice recording. I guess send
Well,
it to
that
you.
works. Pimp, question for you: for Valentine's, when you were younger, would you simply go and have these squirt session machines, sex, the wildest sex ever on Valentine's, or would like how or was it just you didn't really care for the holiday?
I'm routine. It didn't really matter to me because I'm like I say, I'm an everyday type of guy. You know what I mean? I like to give people their flowers while they're here, give them their props while they're around. So I try to make mine feel special as much as possible every single day. So one day is not so important to me. You know what I mean? Uh, I definitely would be with that person and do that thing.
Yeah,
But trying to sit there and stab everything I had going on would be ludicrous. You know what I mean?
that's it. That's it. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well,
Mhm.
let's go ahead and segue to the first question. Lance, I'm gonna ping pong it to you real quick.
All right.
Question one is: do you believe that ultimatums are manipulation? And part 1B is: have you ever had an ultimatum that actually worked, or basically use an ultimatum that actually worked?
Okay, can you give me your example of what an ultimatum is, please?
Okay, so let's say you are in a relationship with somebody who will not stop drinking. Like in the beginning you accepted
Hmm.
it, but then you realize, it's getting out of control, right? So
Hmm.
you tell them if you don't go to rehab, okay, AA,
Hmm.
I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving because I'm
Hmm.
sick of this. That's what I mean. So an
And can you
ultimatum
ask the
in a
question again
relationship.
so I can answer it properly? Because
Yes,
I got
sir.
I got an answer, but I'm not sure if I'm answering properly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So do you believe that ultimatums, 1A, do you believe that ultimatums are manipulations? And then 1B, Have you ever had an ultimatum that actually worked?
Okay, hopefully I've answered this question right, because like I said, pimp, you already know that I don't really answer things normal, and Kyndra already knows that I don't answer things really normally. So I'm trying to, hopefully I'm answering this correctly. All right. All right. So my weird problem with me in most relationships was, and there's a reason why I celebrate Valentine's Day, because I'm inherently a simp. Like, I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm inherently a simp. I literally, for so many years, not anymore, but for so many years, I've always put the woman's feelings first in a relationship. So it's like I've had ultimatums, I've had things that I didn't like about women, but it's like I got to a point back then, not now, but back then, I've gotten to the point where, you know, I might as well just accept it, because like, and this is kind of somewhat like mature of me, but also childish at the same time. It's like I kind of accepted the things I didn't want, because I told myself, okay, well, if I don't like her, I just gotta have to just go on to another woman. So if I just want to sit here with this woman, then I just gotta have to accept her for who she is. Because if I want her to change, why don't I just go to another woman? So to me, in my brain, I was like, that was the mature thing to do, but it's still as childish, because as a man, I should just be okay with everything, even if I don't like it. And I've told these women back then what I loved and didn't like. And of course, back then when I was young, I was like, these women used to feel so comfortable, like cursing me out and running over me and walking over me if I did something. So that's what I am now. It's like, okay, let me say something. If I just see a woman that I just don't like, or something I don't appreciate, or not appreciate, I don't tolerate, I just won't talk to them in general. That's just something I just simply won't do. I just simply go around them and go to a better woman, honestly. So when it comes to ultimatums, that is something that I never really had experience dealing with, or having to, because my experience of dating women, I've always like either accepted it or just found other women. I don't know. I'm a weird person. I'm just a very weird person.
Okay.
Not really, my guy. People like that shit. It is what it is. Some
Hmm.
people ain't gonna just don't do that. You feel me? Some people ain't don't think it's worth the trouble. You have your right to be like that. You don't
Okay.
want them to
Okay.
do what they want you to do, whatever. Shit, that's why there's many of them to choose from, fam.
True.
And
True. True.
that's why God
Hmm.
made you the way that you are, and nothing's wrong.
Absolutely,
No, nothing's wrong with that. So, pimp, same question with you. Go ahead.
absolutely. Well, I definitely don't do well with ultimatums. Um, when I was younger, messing around and stuff, I was pretty cool. With some people not liking some stuff about me, but never came to the point to where if you don't this or do this that we won't. You know what I'm saying? Never really got to that until I got in my older days. But back then it was okay because I really didn't care anyway, and I definitely wasn't trying to do anything, you know, lasting. So it really didn't matter. Um, but as I got older, I realized, that ultimatums kind of to me they were kind of pushoverish, or trying to be aggressive on one end, or somewhat. I feel in my life now, you got to accept me with everything I bring. You know what I mean? And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna accept you for everything you bring. And but of course, there may be some things that we had to talk about. My smoking is one of them. I tell a woman off top, shit, I smoke the green, and I'm gonna smoke it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what we gotta do about that, but that's gotta happen. And you give me something that you deal with, and I work with you on one or two things. You know what I'm saying? And we go on like that. But I definitely don't dig ultimatums. I feel like they trying to, put me in a situation. I don't like nobody trying to make me do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And if I make you do something, I'm still gonna feel the bad because I feel like I had to make you do it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
making the chick lay down with you. That's like rape to me, fam. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you having to force that, it's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to have to give a person that. I tell them how they feel, how I feel, and what I expect or don't expect, and I expect that person, if they care enough, to adjust to it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? And let
Now,
me. Oh, I'm sorry.
go
Go ahead,
ahead.
Pam. Go ahead.
No, I was going to do the second part of it, and this I already did, but I definitely haven't had an ultimatum. I got a situation that I got to deal with right now. I don't know if I'm gonna call it an ultimatum or not, but I got to deal with it right now. But we'll see how it turns out. But other than that, I haven't really had anything to go on, whether it was good or bad, ultimatum wise, in my life, and I thank God for that too.
Hey, there it is. There it is. Well, let me go ahead and I will go ahead and give my answer. For first off, let me say this: I ain't never had no relation like this to be as I've been in this spiritual walk of mine and everything else like that, and the Lord has brought me to a deeper place, spiritually. I realized that I number one, I've never had a real relationship. A lot of these were situationships. That's really what they are. They would just play. Like, like we play house, mom, Barbie and Ken, the Barbie dolls, like, oh, like when you're a kid. Oh, I want to be I'm y'all playing doctor and whatnot. It's just that's all it was play. So no, I've never had nothing in that realm where it was a ultimatum. I remember there was a time where I would sit here and try to force a guy to act a certain way because I want him to act that way. But I realized, maturity kicked in many years later, and I'm like, why did I even do that? So as far as ultimatums, I do feel like they are in a way manipulation because you need to accept people for who they are, not sit here and try and change them, right? Like you got with that person, you knew they was in the streets, you knew that they was, a drunk, you knew, like you said, pimp, you said I smoked that green, you knew that that's what they was on to. So why are you sitting here trying to force them to get to how you want them to end up being? That to me is just ridiculous. It to me is so freaking ridiculous. I'm just not going to at this point in my life force anybody to try to be what I want them to be. I have rules and requirements of the type of guy what I want and also what I need. I got a list. I think it's important when you out there dating, have a list of what your wants are, what your needs are. Have your deal breakers list as well. Things that you
Yeah.
just, what you ain't just gonna put up with, right? And so that way you can know, okay, that's manageable or that's not too bad. I can deal with that, right? Put what you can deal with as well. But yeah, it's definitely definitely manipulation. So as far as 1B, I can't answer that because again, I have not been in that situation, no relationship or anything else in that manner to be able to give you that answer. So that is what I will say about that. But also, yeah, tell people, kind of like, hey, this is what I'm on, what I'm not on and all that type of stuff. So let me go ahead, pimp. I'm gonna hand it to you since we are somewhat still on the segue and on the relationship topic. So let's go to question 2. So back in the biblical days, okay, men fathered many children by multiple women. Why would that not be considered creating broken homes? Because realistically, how can he be there for all his kids?
Hmm. That's a good one. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good one. I thought about that when I saw it. I'm like, oh wow. Um, Depending on, I don't know. Like back in the days, biblically, there were a lot of men who, well, they called them whores, but at the same time, they did have many children. And I don't recall in the Bible where God did a lot of chastising these particular people. You know, so it's kind of hard to say that it was wrong in his eyesight to a certain extent. Okay, but realistically, you can't be who you supposed to be for so many people at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially some of the numbers that we probably talking about. Um, it's I really don't feel. I mean, you can stretch yourself out with 3 or 4 children, at least more 10 to 20. You know, and it take a lot to be who you're supposed to be in a person's life. You know, the real way, especially if you got another life that you live in. You know what I'm saying? So all of this kind of crazy, but realistically, I don't think it's okay to father a lot of children, especially if you don't feel you're gonna be in their life and make a difference in their life and stuff like that. Monetarily, financial, that's easy to do, but raising that child, the correct way and preparing that child for the world is a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different thing. And like I say, you just can't do that 3 or 4 places at the same time. Not realistically. So no, I'm not for that at all. We all have done a lot of stuff. We all got our little seedlings all over the place and whatnot. I pray everybody had a chance to, implement something in their kids' lives. You know what I mean? And that's what they'll come back to in the time of need. But no, I'm not too much for that though, sweetheart. I'm gonna be honest with
Hey, I understand. Lance, same question with you.
Okay, so that's a really, really good question. Really good question. I will try to make this as
you.
short as possible. The first thing I'm going to say is that, first of all, the society in the biblical days is not designed like the society today. It's not. Okay.
What's the
Back
difference between
then,
back then
Absolutely.
say it again.
versus
Absolutely.
now? I said, what's the difference
Yeah.
between back in society versus now?
Well, the biggest thing is that it's even hard to have one kid these days. Like literally, let me tell you something. I don't even want to have sex anymore at this point because, like, first of all, condoms don't work. Obviously that's everybody's excuse to have kids, like without knowing because condoms never work. Okay, then don't wear a condom. Then don't have sex. Right? If that's the case, if that's the case, if birth control don't work, condoms don't work. Okay, just don't have sex then. Because 9 times out of 10, if I have sex, I may have a kid. I don't know. But in other words, first of all, just having one kid it's not even it's hard. Just take care of yourself. It's hard. Kyndra, what happened a couple of weeks ago with my cat. I had to pay $1,400 for her surgery, like that emergency that night. My car currently to get repaired. That's in the shop, Kyndra. Yeah, that's in the shop. I'm just playing. Even
It
that
will be in the
currently
shop.
tomorrow. We're going to the shop tomorrow. I have to pay
Yeah.
like $5,000 to get it fixed. So it's like even that, like, just imagine kids. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, back then money didn't exist, credit and debit. What I'm saying, there's no such thing as debt back then. So of course you can have as many kids with no consequences. All right. So the second thing is look
Wait, hold
at
on,
the
hold on.
way.
I got a quick question. How do we not know? Because the Bible is pretty much left up. The Bible ain't gonna tell you everything. There were still what? Don't you think that the same consequences from back then still apply now? It just wasn't talked about back
Okay, but
then.
the thing is, okay, for instance, the the currency back then was more like food, resources. I'll trade you gold, I'll trade you corn, I'll trade you crops, and you can
Even
easily grow
people,
that stuff. Yeah. It's
even
like
even
here in
people.
America, you could be the best
Mhm.
person, the best worker, and still don't have a job. Job is like given to you, money is given to you by permission from the government. If the government likes you, it'll give
Absolutely.
you a job. That's the
They'll give you
problem.
something.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. So that's the problem. You have to sign your papers. You have to be approved for this, or you don't qualify because you're
For
this.
that.
It's like that, that's what I'm saying. So back then,
Mhm.
you could get research from anywhere. You can grow your own food, like you can. Yeah. So all
That's why they
your
battled over the land a lot of the time.
say it again.
That's why they battled over the land a lot of the times. That fertile land and stuff. They wanted that,
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
they'll literally come kick you out your own property and take that. Yeah, let me get
Exactly.
that
The
fam.
second,
Yeah.
the second thing I wanted to say was, look at the way everything was structured back then, right? Back then it was hard to like travel away from your kids in the first place. Today I could get on a plane tonight and end up completely on the other side of the world in the morning. It's easy to like leave your family. It's easy to go somewhere else, fuck somebody else, and have kids. It's easy to leave your kids and disappear. you know Back then, you needed to ride a camel or walk from state to state or from city to city. It wasn't really easy to leave your kids. So that's why it's easy to stay in one city, have a bunch of kids, and everybody's there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to leave in the first place. So, and not only that, back then in the biblical tape, this could be a controversial topic, but back then, people believed in polygamy. Back then, a lot of women didn't mind their husbands having multiple women because it was a part of their culture, etc. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot that changed from biblical times to now. It's just that society is not designed for a man to have kids, by 10 different women and everything stays together. It's just not designed like that.
Lance, you know what? I was as I had this question, I kept thinking, what the heck is the actual answer? And you know what? I
You think there is one?
like this was one of those questions where it's like, bro, you gotta have some real critical thinking. Lance, Pimp, great answers. Lance, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Cause you did say something tomorrow, like I said, it having to get car work done. And I didn't listen. There was a time for a couple of months I was working underneath the car, so I'm like, I see why this costs so much. Right? Recently, I decided to go pick up a hobby, go work, go to the shop and work underneath cars. I'm like, I see why it costs so much.
And
You
now
can really make a
people look at me crazy for loving to unicycle everywhere.
yeah, because that's kind of
Consider
like why would
consider a cash car. Consider a cash car, fam. You finna drive 5 bands or something. Consider a cash car. You can
Or
find you a
something.
cool little something to go back and forth that's dependable for that kind of money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, I can't do
Yeah,
it.
straight up.
yeah. Yeah, it's and that's the thing about when it becomes like you just said, consider a cash car, right? That's the thing about adulting. You have to be able like the priorities and the cost of living. And so even with this question, I think to myself, like I back in the day, you know, it really you had a village. You really had a village raising, that really came together. Now everybody's like it's like a dog eat dog type of world out here. Um, for the most part. It's a dog eat dog type of world. Like you said, I agree with you, Lance. Polygamy was a thing back in the day. Women were okay with being knowing that they were being shared. Like it was a badge of honor knowing that you was a 300th woman and everything else like that. They didn't, but I don't know what happened over time. I guess women were like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with that. My self respect, like, X, Y, and Z. Who knows, right? And like you said, you really had to take like a camel to go from one place to the next. That's a long way. You're like, you know what? No, I'm not doing all that. I'm going to sit here and I am going to um pretty much make this work. I'm going to keep all my kids in the same village. I'm going to homeschool them. I'm going to really be there for them. Now in this day and age, you got music that influences people to act so negatively. Like listening to the rap, you look at these entertainers. When I hear kids, like for example, Future is my favorite rapper. And Lance, what's that one rap song that you say that you know about Future? The only rap song that you know about Future, but
Uh,
nobody else knows that
uh,
song.
um. By the way, I don't know any celebrities and I don't know any songs. Okay, so the only thing I know about Future is "Go Harder" by Future. I think it's called
Yeah,
"Go
it's
Harder." Some
I
things
ain't never
called
heard
"Go
that.
Harder."
Well, let me say this about Future, right? One of my favorite rappers, like nobody you can't talk bad. I know he's like I said, you just can't talk bad about Hendrix to me. You can't talk bad about Pluto to me, okay? Or Meathead. That just different names that he done been called. However, one of the things that the kids will say in school, they'll mention Future, how great he is and all that. He's rich. I said, man, that man's not rich. That man owes a lot of child support. So I said, that's not his money, right? I'm about to burst the bubble for you early.
You went out.
Right? Hold on. I went out. Can you am I
You
back?
froze for like 5 seconds.
Okay, I'm back. I was just basically saying that's not his money. That's the label's money. This is what I tell the kids. Like they're like, "Oh, I want to be like Future," and I'm like, guys, there's nothing okay about having 5 different hoods in one household. There's nothing okay about that. Like we don't have it together. Now we're basically there was a rapper. Rest in peace of Shawty Low, ATL legend, one of from my city and whatnot. Went to school out where he actually is from. And so Shawty Low was gonna have a TV show called uh basically Shawty Low and All My Baby's Mamas. He literally was gonna have he had literally had a TV show that was about to be called that. Right? This is in the later part of the 2000s. One of his kids actually went to the same school together. He was a grade ahead of me. And well, Lance, I don't. For the ones who don't know, Lance and I know Pimp, y'all gonna be floored by this, but he had died going around too fast around the curb on the highway. He was actually his last place of appearance was at the Flame that's out here in Atlanta. You know what? That I went to the Flame a couple times, and man, it was fire up in there. I like it. It's home of the $5 dances. So I will say this: I remember after he died, his body, his casket, before they buried him, they had his casket up in the Flame. Why would you have his casket in the booty club? What type of crap
What?
is that? This is actually
What
true.
you know
Because
what?
that was his last place. They said let's hold. They said how moment of silence. Let's put a moment of silence up for Shawty Low. Put a moment of silence up for Shawty Low.
So
And
you mean if let's say this, if I died in the Walmart restroom, they can have my casket in the Walmart restroom? I don't understand that.
man, it's niggatry as finest, man. However, Shiloh was gonna have a TV show called Shiloh and All My Baby's Mamas, and people had to boycott that. To me, there's nothing okay about that. You are back in the biblical days. They wasn't doing all that. They literally had honor and respect. Now, because a lot, and on top of that, the men knew how to really parent. The man was the head of the household, like knowing what the head of the household meant, what that is. But that, like I said, that's my answer. I know one guy. I'm sure I've said this before, but I know we have newcomers. I had a neighbor who actually had 35 children. Right?
Oh my
This man
gosh.
had 35 children.
Oh, I was thinking
Um,
about the mother. I was thinking about a woman that had 35. Okay, never mind.
no, this man had 35 kids. Right?
But still, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, so wait, hold on. It gets worse. The man had 35 children, and he started at 13 and kept going. And I
13?
yes, I
I don't
came
even know your
across,
body is able to bust a nut that young.
man, please. I came across this woman. She actually is in Africa, and and these reporters come to her all the time, and they basically exploit this woman who's in Africa, and she has, I think, 40 kids. A lot of
Oh
her
my
children are named the
gosh.
same name. 40 kids, right? There was another woman. She's like of a Hispanic descent, and she has, I think she's on her, I don't know, 20 something child, and she said she's gonna keep going until her body gives out, right?
So until she
So
died?
yeah, I guess she's gonna keep going. That to me is just it's Pimp. Question for you. I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna let us have a few more points. I'm gonna let you end us out with a word.
Come on.
What is the most amount of kids that you've ever came across a woman? Not that you dated, a woman that you knew. The most amount of children that a woman or a man that you knew had.
I had an argument with a guy at a shop. I used to kick it with some older cats at this shop or whatever. And we was up there one evening and talking about some stuff, blah 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 blah. But they come up with, he said dude had like 88 kids.
Oh hell no.
Did he really have 88 children?
So I got up and I told this one cat that I'm really close with. I said, "You call this guy your friend? He lied to you like that, and you believe him? You know?" And he said, "Man, dude, tell you the truth, bro." So everybody's standing on that with him that he had that many kids. And they was like, he got like 30 some over here in the foster home, this little neighborhood that we got. I'm like, 30 some kids in the same fucking neighborhood? He's like,
Wait,
yeah,
wait,
bro.
wait, wait. 80. So he really has 88 children.
Swear to God, that's what they all
So,
led me to believe. And it's more
so
than one person saying this, so I gotta believe it, you
okay,
know. And these some
okay.
OGs, these ain't no anybody type of niggas. I supposed to
I'm
believe
sorry
in
to hear
these
that.
cats. You know what I
I'm
mean?
sorry to hear that.
Oh my, yeah,
I'm
that was
really sorry to
crazy.
hear
That was
that.
crazy. But
Lance,
myself with a
Yes.
woman, I think I remember a chick having like 13. Yeah, about 13 kids,
were they all by the same
and
man?
definitely not. She had like 6 or 7 different
Wait, no,
kids
hold on,
that.
wait. Don't say definitely not, because there are some. It does happen. It does happen. It's
Give
rare.
me one. Hey, bring me one.
I will tell you. I'll
Bring
send
me.
you there. I will send. Listen, there's this couple, black couple. They've been married for like 30 years and they got 16 kids together.
I can respect that. I can
That's
respect
rare.
that. That's very rare. That's very rare. But I can respect that. Bring me a nut.
I'm just picturing some of the numbers that y'all are saying. I'm picturing because even in the state of Nebraska, there's a town that got like 60 something people in it. I'm thinking you have more kids than that entire
Been the
population of that
whole
state.
time. Absolutely. But you know, my question came up to them is again, like I say, and we talked about this, I think, on the last show about having children. How many times, you know, like we say, yeah, it take one time to get pregnant, but come on, let's keep it gangster. How many of us have had sex with people for years and years and years and they never got pregnant? You see what I'm saying? So you talking about
True.
every single time this nigga got lucky? He never had to double back on nothing. For him to have 88 kids,
He
You
probably
know what?
just never pulled out before.
nah, fam. It is absolutely ain't no way every time I hear something they pregnant, fam.
Because you
Every
can
single
do the
time.
math like,
His soldiers marching.
And then you're talking about some of them may be the same person. I'm quite sure he had 2 or 3 by some same people, but that mean every time I hit this bitch, she got pregnant. I don't see it happening. You know?
because I mean, if you put it in perspective, me on a personal level, like on a very personal level, I'm quite young, so of course I don't have that much experience with women. But even if you calculate, even every time I've had sex with a woman, if I've always never pulled out, I still won't have 88 kids because I don't
88
even think I've
kids,
had
fam.
sex 88 times, honestly. Like, well,
Yeah,
I'm just
you know what?
that number. I'm sorry, that number just amazed me. Like,
No,
I
it
just
I
I just
promise
amazes me
that.
too.
Hey,
But honestly, I'm not surprised because you have
shit,
people
I
out
promise
here
you
who are
that.
just they just. Do you know what the problem is? Let me say this right. I have come across men who, this is something I've noticed a lot as well. Some of the most handsome, like real attractive men I've come across, they ain't even got that many kids. It's always the ones who look like a
Mm-mm.
squirrel with a trash bag wrapped around their face, who got all these slew of kids. They short, they
Hey, by the way,
stuffy,
I have
ain't
to. I Hey, Kendra, I have to leave. There's an emergency. I have to leave
no
real
problem,
quick.
no problem, Lance. All right, we'll
Yeah.
see you
Hope
next time.
everybody.
Have a good one,
Yeah.
Lance. Have a good one.
Okay.
Have a good
Chill,
one.
Bye.
Be
fam.
good, be
Chill,
good, be good, be good.
chill.
Hope
Be
everything's
safe.
well. So here's my thing, right? My thing is this. I've noticed that a lot, like I said, the men who really don't have much going for themselves, like really ain't got much going for themselves, those are the ones who have a bunch of kids. And the ones who are really attractive, like the ones I'm like, oh my gosh, like wow, all that type of stuff, they ain't got that. They don't have that many kids. Like this is something I've observed, but I think what it is that when a woman ends up trying, a woman who ends up telling like, oh, this is what I had somebody a guy tell me. He's actually about your age. He told me the reason why you'll see a man who really ain't got that much potential going for himself, who has all these type of kids, is because basically it's like he's the hood phenomenon. One girl tries him, then other girls want to try him, then other girls, like the word gets spread around. It's like all in the same community. They all like, oh, his penis is great. Got to go try it. So that's what it is. And I'm like, are you serious? And stuff like that. Like again, pimp, you're a very handsome guy. You are a very handsome man. I
Right,
just
thank you.
expect. I expected you. I said, oh, when you told me you only got like 5, 6 kids, I was like, that's it. That's all.
Right.
You mean to tell me women
Yeah.
ain't trapped you? But again, because I
Right.
guess you
I
have
can't. I
morals and
can't say it
standards.
wasn't trying. Yeah, I can't say it wasn't tried, but I
Yeah.
don't have any positives like talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really cool where I'm at.
Of course,
But
of
you're
course.
absolutely right, though. And sometimes it was just the name or just the fame. You know what I'm saying? The basketball star, the football star. And like you say, one person tried out and get to talking about it, and he don't have to do nothing. He just sit back and wait on 'em. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
Well, go ahead, Pimp. You can end us out with a word. Whatever, Yahweh places on your heart. Go ahead and say it. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
because it's the day it is, we're gonna put it on that little white cupid guy that shoot the arrows. The word do say he who find a good thing in a wife is the one. You know what I mean? So you niggas that think y'all the choice, it's not that. You feel me? When you do run across a good one, better treat her as such. And these days, your peoples ain't gonna be there. Ain't nobody gonna cut for you like the one that's really meant to be there for you. And all these balloons and bears and shit on one day is not what it is. Like I say, treat her like the queen she is every single day, and then you can do something special for her. I ain't gonna say that, but most of all, they're playing and all that bullshit is played out. It's trying to get yourself together. The world's getting shorter and shorter each and every day. Better get with somebody that's gonna have your back and cut for you. You feel me?
Okay. That's it. That's real. Well, thank you so much. Even though Lance
For
had a
sure.
family emergency, Lance, we thank you so much making the grandparents back, Pimp. Every single week you done
Hmm.
stuck with it and everything else like that. So I do appreciate you took your time,
For
man. Cause
sure.
some people be like, no, I can't make the podcast because it's Valentine's Day. Okay, okay, got you, whatever. Yeah, okay, all
Be all
right.
right.
Well, yeah, okay. All right. Well, look, it has been real. Thank you so much.
All right.
Welcome
You're
to
welcome.
another great episode of Kendra's Corner. Make sure you guys please subscribe. Please share, share, share. And until next time, y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed.
Be good.
And we're
Peace
out.
out.